Heyo pioneers, Nemo Ashong here, and today I want to talk to you about protecting your energy as a leader. A few weeks ago, we had an event in Singapore that was really focused on helping leaders show up as unapologetically themselves. And the conversation really got into a exploration of some of their standards in life and some of the things that they were tolerating. And one leader was interested in getting coached on the spot. And what showed up for him was that while he wanted to change things around the different elements that were showing up in his life, the different standards that he had, he felt that it wasn't possible to create because he didn't have time. The fun part about live coaching like this is that we get a chance to actually explore and see what's really going on. And it turns out, after some exploration in our conversation, that it wasn't really about time at all. It was about energy. You see, at the end of his day, after being interrupted throughout the day, after being there and really serving the people around him, he came home exhausted and needed 2+ hours to be able to recharge. And that's what kept him from being able to do some of the other things he wanted to make happen in his life. And the thing that was really interesting is that the things that he wanted to make happen in his life would actually only increase his energy and give him more opportunity to serve people. And so I want to spend some time here to really give you a chance to look at how are you protecting your energy, the energy that's needed to lead your team, the energy that's needed to step out powerfully and to communicate and share your vision and your mission, the energy that's needed to influence others and to lead others, and the energy that's needed for yourself to take care of the things that are important for your business, for your team, for your family, or whatever else it is that you're leading your way. So today, let's talk about a few things. Let's talk about boundaries. And I think boundaries, more than anything else, is the top way of being able to protect your energy. When I think about boundaries, there's three things that I think about with them. One, it's establishing those boundaries. Two, communicating those boundaries to others. And then three, upholding and holding those boundaries. So let's spend a little bit of time just diving in on each of them. The first one, establishing your boundaries, right? In order to really be able to communicate effectively to others, in order to actually be able to protect that energy, you have to know what actually drains you of that energy. So take some time to take stock of and take account of what it is that drains you of energy. When do you feel like you aren't really being at your best, and what's been taken away from that? You can do this as an exercise and just put aside some time and just do it all, or you can find it in real time. For me, that was one of the things that happened. I realized one day that I'm just done with small talk, and I needed to create a boundary around it because as an entrepreneur, I actively needed my energy to be at its peak as much as it could. And so I actually realized this around me and said, okay, going forward, I need to set a boundary around having talk around weather or just what someone's doing at their job, like anything that wasn't actually meaningful, deep, and actually helping us get to a transformative experience. So take some time right now to think for yourself around one boundary. What's one thing that drains you of your energy? And what would you need to be able to protect that energy? What is the boundary that you would need to set up around it? Great. Take that one boundary that you have right there and continue to think about that and put it into a new context. So now that you know what that boundary is, the next thing is to actually communicate it to others. And so the communication of this here is quite simply so that they understand what it is that you are moving towards, what your boundaries are. And the objective of this is so that you can mitigate energy draining activities before they happen. So when I figured out that I really didn't want to do small talk anymore, what I ended up doing was creating a place where I went on to Facebook and I just said it. I said, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Nemo and I don't do small talk. Now that was a fun declaration there, and it was true. And that was the entire post. It got likes, it got some laughs and things like that, but it was true for me. And what happened was that in later times, people came up and wanted to share more and engage in those kind of conversations. And what it allowed me to do was to communicate in real time to them actually how I approach small talk. In fact, all I said was, oh, you haven't seen my Facebook post about this, but allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Nemo, and I don't do small talk. And this leads us to the third part of this all, which is all around holding the boundaries. And as much as you communicate it, that is set out to be a proactive, preemptive measure. But there's another chance that, just as life goes, that your boundaries will be encroached upon. And that's okay. That's cool. The fun part now is how do you hold that boundary when you see it being really put at jeopardy. And so this here, really, it changes for each person in the moment. I think the real thing is just being actively aware and choosing to uphold that boundary, choosing to do what might be uncomfortable to really just create the space that you need again. For me, what happens is that if I enter into a conversation that really isn't filling me with energy and is draining me because we're not really talking about anything, I tend to either just let them know and re-communicate what I had said around my boundaries, or I exit the conversation. And sometimes it's as easy as that. There are people that I can talk to, and if you've experienced me, you know I can talk to you for an hour about deep, meaningful things. 2 hours, that's what I do with my clients. But I can't make 10 minutes of a conversation that's going absolutely nowhere. And this is important. I want to put this out here because I had heard one of my mentors, Dan Sullivan, say this. And he said, as an entrepreneur, and I'm going to adjust this a bit here, as a leader, you don't have time to engage in things that aren't moving you forward toward your vision and your goals. And perhaps your vision and goal in any given moment is to relax. And that's fine. Find if there are things that are taking you away from what energy you really need, call that out. And then take the step here as a leader to do what's necessary to protect that energy. Because at the end of the day, your energy is one of your most important resources as a leader. And having a way to protect it through your boundaries, that simple yet effective tool, by establishing, communicating, and then upholding those boundaries, you have a better chance of being able to maintain and get through the day so that you don't have to go back and take another 2+ hours just to recharge. I'm Nemo Ashong, founder of Enjoyment and pioneer leader of the World Joy Movement. I'd love to hear about some of your thoughts on this, good, bad. If you want to just continue the conversation, that's what I'm here for. So wherever you're watching this, leave a comment, leave some kind of response, and let's continue this conversation. Let's see, how have you put this into action? All right then, here's to your continued success. Journey on.